Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Muscular Development's coverage of the Romania Musclefest happening right now in Bucharest, Romania. Judging ended a little while ago. It is 7 hours ahead of East Coast U.S. time, 10 hours ahead of West Coast U.S. time. So you guys are in Europe, places like Australia. You probably were able to watch this in real time without having to stay up all night. But it does look like it's coming down to the two people that Giles and I had in our preview as the front runners for the show. Brett Wilkin, who we last saw at the Arnold Classic back in early March, where he took 6th place, came in a little too heavy. Him and his coach, Matt Jansen, vowed they would never make that mistake again. And man, if you've seen any of the pictures or if you've been checking out the live stream, you can get it at wingsofstrength.net. He is looking phenomenal, Brett Wilkin, but so is Behruz Tebani from Iran, Milo Sarcev's client. This guy, wow. I believe he was 3rd place here last year, and he is pushing Brett very, very hard for the win. Jen, do we have a little bit of Instagram footage we can put up? Yes. Let's check these guys out. Also want to mention, I don't know if we can see him in this footage, but this gentleman, young man from China, turned pro yesterday. His Instagram, he goes by Shuming Yan, but everyone seems to be calling him Liang, L-I-A-N-G Yan, Y-A-N, packed with muscle, shorter guy, thick, round, dense muscle, beautiful shape, and the condition is phenomenal. Okay, so yeah, on screen now, this is your top 2 today. This is Behruz and Brett, and this is talk about a coin toss here. These guys are very evenly matched. This is here we go, the side chest. I think Behruz gets the edge with a little bit more not conditioning, size. He does seem to be a little bit bigger. Both of them in spectacular condition. Behruz, he caught my attention a year ago at the show with the conditioning. It was freakish. But Brett is no slouch. Brett is looking 100% bang on with this condition. So, wow. So as we speak, Giles Thomas is covering the show. He's doing the pay-per-view commentary for Wings of Strength. So he is doing that. As soon as finals are over, we're going to do a huge recap of the show with Giles, who was watching every minute of it. I slept through the entire judging. My bad, guys. But it was started at 2 a.m. our time here in East Coast of the USA. So please forgive me. But boy, look at these two. I don't know what you would do. If you guys were judging, what would you do, man? These guys both look so good. Yeah, you see there, I'm trying to see who has an edge, and it's tough. It's tough. At first, I was going to say Behruz might have the legs, but no, Brett has brought his legs up a little bit there. I really can't find one thing where the other guy dominates the other on. It's rough. And from the call-outs, from the picture I've been seeing on Instagram, I didn't watch the stream, but it looks like the gentleman from China, the young guy, the rookie who turned pro yesterday, could walk away with 3rd place in his first pro show, which it's not going to give him enough points for the Olympia. So one of these two gentlemen here is going to the Olympia. This is the last chance to qualify, didn't he? Oh, okay. Here I am, guys. I'm back. Technology. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys are following this, the photos, videos, but it's very, very close right now between Brett and Behruz. Brett Wilkin from USA, Behruz Tebani from Iran. It's going to be a close one, and this is one that's going to come down to the confirmation round. I seriously doubt either one of them has straight first places at this point. If you look at the judging sheets, I bet both of them have a couple first place votes from several of the judges and a couple second place votes. It's not a clear cut win here for either one of these guys. It's going to go down to the wire. So yeah. Anything in the live chat? I don't see anything. Wake up, guys. Come on now. Well, I was say their way. A lot of our viewers are over in Europe, so they should be wide awake at this point. It's not.
Hey guys, you are live with Ron.
What's up,
Do you
guys?
have any questions for him right now regarding Romania Musclefest Pro?
What am I drinking? Is that what you're asking? No. A product called War Games, designed for video gaming, but it does help me focus and think a little bit more clearly. Which,
There we go. We got some people in the chat now.
So we got, I felt like Wilkin had a better chest and wider back, says Scott Jensen. Coffee time for me, says Dan Christensen. 1:20 a.m. here.
Australia,
Oh, wow.
like
Wow.
Xavier.
What is it, like Thursday over there now? Hey, wow, 1:20 a.m. Xavier, is he staying up? Geez, Xavier's going to have to stay up all damn night if he wants to do the finals.
Xavier's 14 hours ahead of us.
So, yeah, 14. So 9, 11. Wouldn't it be? Yeah. I'm bad at math, so help me out here. So 9, 14. So he's a little, that must be one. Australia has several time zones.
He's all the way on the west side of Australia.
So it's 11. So it's 11:30 for him.
Yeah.
They were talking about our compatriot, our fellow journalist, Xavier Willis with this.
Yeah. Who does a great job, but
he does an awesome job.
We always try to beat him.
Everyone's telling us what time it is. David, I mean, 8:20 a.m. out here in Texas. You coming to any shows this way later this year? No, the only Texas show that we covered this year was the Texas Pro, which I thought was a phenomenal production for a second-year production, especially.
Oh yeah.
What's his name, Jen? I know his name. It's just not coming to me.
Freddie Nadeau and Sheila Brown.
Sheila, they did a fantastic job, and yeah, I would definitely go to that show again. That was Andrew Jack's pro debut.
Yes.
So you can only I always feel fortunate when I'm there to see the pro debut of somebody who's going to go very far. And it's few and far between that you see something like that where everyone's just wowed, and that was one of those shows.
And Texas is a tier 2 next year.
That's right. Monday morning here, Javiner Kid. Surprising how Les Beirut or the Chinese guy are almost unknown compared to Brett. Yeah. Not real well. It's the Chinese guy was an amateur until yesterday. Beirut, I don't think Beirut does a whole lot of social media. If he does, it's probably all. I'm not going to say Arabic because they speak Farsi in Iran, but I've noticed some of the Middle Eastern bodybuilders are tremendously popular in that part of the world, and not so much in other parts. You would have to put out content in English, so knuckleheads like me could understand you and appreciate you. Brett's been around for a couple of years. He's coached by Matt Jansen, who's one of the top coaches. He does content with other top bodybuilders and fitness celebrities. So yeah, Brett's definitely going to be more well-known. What else we got? Xavier doesn't sleep. I just,
no.
God bless. Tasmania, South Australia. That's where the Tasmanian Devil's from, the cartoon character.
Yes, that's right. I went to Tasmania.
Yeah, David Avina, Battle Up Productions are phenoms. Yeah, that was such a well-produced show. I mean, I felt like I was at an Arnold Classic or something. It was that good.
And they loved having you there. They loved having you there.
Yeah, they were gracious hosts, and it was just run like clockwork. I love shows that start on time, end on time, and you can tell everyone's in precision. They have a team in place, like the Tim Gardner, his team's over in Romania. He flew his whole team out. Most of them are from Tampa, Florida area, out to Romania because these people are on the ball. They've done this so many times. They move these shows along perfectly, no matter how many athletes are involved. And sometimes these Tim Gardner shows, 200 to 300 pros, 200 to 300 amateurs, and he gets it all done in a couple of days.
Well, after the finals today, we'll have 40 qualified for the Open, or actually, I think over 40 qualified for the Open.
Wow, for the Mr. Olympia, 40?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's going to be a big show. I know Classic is over 50. Men's Physique, I think, is like 60. I think Bikini and Figure have 50 or 60. Olympia is going to be ridiculous this year as far as numbers. Someone's asking, Planner Ahmed, what about Abdullah Al-Rabia's level? Who is that? He's not in the Open.
I haven't heard of him either.
Yeah, I'm not really sure who you're asking about. Oh, that's a Classic Physique competitor from Saudi Arabia. I haven't watched it. I'm gonna watch that shortly. Right now, they're doing the finals right now. It's on Masters Figure, Women's, then Open Figure, Women's Physique. So they do all the women's divisions first. Well, most of the women's divisions first. Let me take that back. It's going to go then women's physique, women's bodybuilding, wellness, 212 bodybuilding, bikini masters, then open, men's physique masters, then open, classic physique masters, open classic, and then bodybuilding. There's no masters bodybuilding in this. David, they have Battle of Texas, December 10, one of the biggest shows of the year. Is that a pro show? It sounds like an amateur show. Yeah, we don't really, yeah, I'm sure it's a great amateur show. We tend to focus on the pro shows, put our resources into where the most interest is. So obviously the Olympias that's what we're all gearing up for, the Olympia. That's going to be our Super Bowl.
Well, the last open qualifier for Mr. Olympia is today, Romania.
Yeah.
But the cutoff for the entire year is November 20th. So classic and 212 shows are still happening up until the 20th. Now I don't know. Now I know there is one on the 20th, so I'm not sure if that's going to be qualified for this year or next year.
I believe it'd be next year, because there's a show in Spain happening. Isn't it next weekend?
Big Man, yeah. Well, 2 weeks from now. Big Man. That's a 23 qualifier though.
Right. So people will qualify for next year's Olympia in November of this year. They'll have over a year before they need to be on stage again. Dane Christensen asking Brett and Martin, hypothetical, who wins? I'd love to see that pose down.
That'd be good.
I'd love to see that pose down. They both have a lot of strong points. I don't know. I think at this point I give it to Brett. I think Martin's a work in progress. He's a young guy. He's getting better. I mean, he's so much better this year than he was last year. And I can imagine we're going to see that same type of progression next year. Brett just has a little more time, a little more age and maturity to the muscles. They both have a good amount of size and get into great condition. I'd probably give Brett the edge at this point. But, I'd without seeing them pose down at their best next to each other, it's speculation. I'd love to see that, though. I don't know when we're going to see it. So Dane continues, coin flip on Beirut versus Brett. I know Brett is going to Big Man in a couple weeks to try to qualify for 2023 early. Oh, that's a good strategy. Well, I mean, if he wins today, he can go to this Olympia too.
True.
So he could do that and then go get his qualification 2 weeks from now for the 2023 Olympia.
We saw that last year too with a couple of shows where they won in 21 and then qualified for 22.
Yeah, I think Regan Grimes did that and a couple other guys, those post-Olympia wins. Is that where Samson got his qualification too or no? Can't remember where Samson qualified.
Samson, where did he qualify?
Where
did he qualify? No, Prague. Last year, Prague.
He won that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Last year,
I know he wasn't in the point standing, so he must have won something. See, these things are so long ago. It's like they faded. My memory's faded already. But Beirut or Brett? Wow. Yeah, that'd be a great strategy on Brett's part because he's already in shape. He's going to have to go back and forth unless he stays over in Europe for 2 weeks. So that's a little inconvenient, but you got to do what you got to do as a professional athlete.
Yes.
David Avinas is going to be doing second show with them. He's talking about Battle Up Productions 4 weeks. DK says Walker Nation.
Speaking of desktop bodybuilding, look who's in chat.
Xavier Willis, Brett versus Martin would be fun. Xavier, apparently you don't sleep, we've heard. So that's probably I'm a big baby. If I don't sleep, useless. I'm useless.
Yes, Xavier. We said it was Prague last year. Samson won.
Oh, okay. So Xavier is both himself and desktop bodybuilding in the chat. I should do that. Prague, yeah. You guys are right. Yeah, Walker Nation. It's interesting. Nick is out in Vegas. So when I was out there 2 weeks, it was actually 2 weeks ago today. I left Vegas. I was at Dragon's Lair gym, and I walked in. They said, "You just missed Nick Walker." I was like, "Oh, damn it!" And I thought he was only in town to do the podcast with Flex Lewis. I thought maybe because they do it. Flex has a little his podcast studio in one of the office spaces in the gym, and they did that. It was great. I watched parts of it, and it turns out Nick is staying in Vegas until the Olympia now. He's going to train at Dragon's Lair.
Makes sense. Yeah.
He said it's the vibe out there, the atmosphere is so much more conducive to the prep for the Olympia than where he was in Florida. So, a true champion, if he's able to, he'll go wherever he needs to go to make it happen. Yeah. I want to get Xavier's sleep updates. These are things that I worry about. Oh, it is 1:30 a.m. where he is.
Oh,
Yeah, we were
wow.
wrong. God bless, dude. 1:30 a.m.
No,
Jeez.
we're pretty much right. We said about 13, 14 hours ahead.
Yeah, we thought he was, I don't know how many time zones they have out there. It's a huge country, largely uninhabited, the whole middle portion, but that's the wastelands where the Mad Max movies happen. But desktop small nap and then final on the Ryan count. Yeah, Vegas and Mecca for sure. It's funny. I had to do a Kai Files article for MD last month, and I was looking up Kai's Olympia history. Kai Green, we're talking about now. He did a training camp in Las Vegas for one of his first Olympias, and for him, it didn't work out that well. He might have been better off staying in Brooklyn or wherever he was. Some people, because that was a whole different situation. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but it was fascinating because him and his coach at the time, Oscar Ardone, it was such a Spartan setup. I remember the videos because Mike Pulcinella was out there shooting for the whole thing for a video. And it was like a real small utility type apartment for both guys. All they did was eat, sleep, train, and like listen to motivational tapes going like nonstop in the background while he was asleep, while he was eating, for the proper frame of mind. But he looked really good and everything, but sometimes things just don't shake out your way. It doesn't matter. He took third in the Olympic. I'm sorry. He took second in the Olympia 3 years in a row to Phil Heath. So no slouch. The reason I'm bringing it up is because I saw Kai on Instagram this morning. He looks pretty much exactly the same as he always looked. Looked like he could jump on stage right now. Basin Mecca. That was a prep where Oscar got injured. Dane said, yeah, it's on video. I think he was trying to incline press with a barbell. I don't know if it was 315 or it might have even been 405. They caught the pec tear on video. And, they made it dramatic. They replayed it in slow motion and everything, but you could see it. There was that bodybuilder, I think he's British, but was he in Dubai earlier this year? Giles had him on Global Muscle. It was a pretty famous pec tear because with that
yes.
I think it happened in Dubai. I could be wrong, but
I
it seems like a lot
forgot Ryan something.
it probably happened because he was training with Larry Wheels, and a lot of people got badly injured training with Larry Wheels.
Let me just look that up for you, see if I can find his name real quick.
Yeah, the reason that went so viral is because he had like a stringer tank top on, and he was very lean, so you could actually see. They slowed it down. You could see the pec come off and roll up into the. I guess where it went toward the sternum. You saw the whole pec muscle. It was disgusting and made you never want to.
Ryan Crowley.
Ryan Crowley.
Yes, and that is on episode. Let me see which episode that was of MD Global Muscle. That was season 4, episode 13. The pec tear heard round the world. I'm going to post a link in the chat right now.
Yeah, that was the pec tear heard. I think you could hear it. It sounds a big muscle like that tearing. I've torn muscles. I've never heard anything, but some people will tell you with a pec, it sounds like a towel, a wet towel being ripped. That's exactly how it sounds. I never want to hear that sound. Yeah, with Larry Wheels.
Scary.
Yeah, thanks for putting the link in there, Jen. But
you're welcome.
Yeah, Larry Wheels, man. So many people did videos with him, and they tried to show off and keep up with him strength-wise, and he's like a strength freak, a phenomenon of strength. So many people got hurt because you can't. Why would you do that? I think you'd see guys who had never pressed more than, I'm just throwing out a random number. Say they never pressed more than 400 pounds in an exercise. They do a video with Larry and they try 500. So what do you think is going to happen? You're going way beyond not even a comfort level, but what your body can handle.
Yeah.
I don't care how jacked you are, how many roids, I hate that word, how much gear you're on. Actually, being on a lot of gear will increase your chances of tearing a muscle because your muscles get so much bigger and stronger, and the connective tissues, the tendons and the ligaments, they never keep pace. They never have the chance. They don't have the capability to grow the way the muscles do. So they're always kind of a weak link. Joseph, here we go back to the show. I don't recommend watching it. Yeah, you'll never want to bench press again. You'll have a trauma. Joseph. I think Behruz deserves the win, but he wouldn't be able to get visa anyway, and that's why I think they'll give it to Brett. I don't know. I mean, Hadi Choopan gets here every year. I know he's got Hani Rambod in his corner, and I'm sure Hani's pulling every string possible with embassies and this and that to get him here for the Olympia every year. Because I remember Trigilli did a video. He did one of those shock videos a couple months ago, like it was Hadi Chupan is in trouble, saying he's not going to get a visa. He's not going to get an Olympia. I'm like, dude, come on. Like Hani can't hook it up because I think he had parted ways with the Parsifal brothers. Someone can correct me. The people that were basically his not sponsors, but so much they were facilitating things for him over there with the paperwork and visas and everything. And I think he had some sort of rift with them, but it didn't matter. I mean, Hani Rambod's he's a brilliant guy. He's well connected. If he wants to get somebody over here, maybe he couldn't get them from Russia at this point, but he can get them from Iran. Yeah. So yeah, Hadi's on his way. Actually, Hadi's already here. Let's see. Dane says the only dude who hasn't gotten hurt training with Larry is Andrew Jack. Interesting. Yeah, it's funny. We did and who? Yeah, I did a video with King Kamali, guys. That's going to come out later this week. And he spoke very, very favorably of Andrew Jack as far as being able to compare to Big Ramy this year at the Olympia. All along I've been saying, I think Andrew's going to be great. I don't think this is his year to push Big Ramy. I think he needs a little bit more size before he's going to knock out. You got to knock out the champ at the Olympia. Unfortunately, that's been the long-standing tradition.
By the way, Ron, speaking of run lines, should we tell them who you have on for Monday?
Why not? That's tomorrow. Yeah, I got Sean Clarita. So Sean has not, and I was so mistaken about this. I thought Sean had already announced whether he would do open or 212. Why I thought he had already decided 212, don't ask me. Maybe I had a dream about it or something. But he has not decided. He's going to announce his decision later this week, but I have him on tomorrow, and I made him weigh the pros and cons of each because I'm curious if I were him personally, I would go 212 and get my Olympia title back. But I hear what he's saying. There's a certain level of prestige to the Mr. Olympia stage. Mr. Olympia with Ramy and Brandon and Bonac and Hadi, Nick Walker, Ian Valier, Hunter Labrada, Samson Dauda, Blessing, Andrew. It's going to be such a crazy, crazy top 10. He feels even getting in the top 10 would probably be equally, if not more prestigious than winning the 212 Olympia title, which I don't know. I don't think being like, and I'm not saying this is where he's going to place. I don't know what would happen, but personally, I want to hear what you guys have to think. If you could choose between 8th place in the Mr. Olympia, or 8th or 9th, let's make it even worse, 9th place. Mm-hmm. So you're at the bottom, toward the bottom of the top 10. What's better, 9th place at the Mr. Olympia or 1st place 212 Olympia? You're the 212 Olympia world champion.
9th place Mr. Olympia, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, I'm listening.
Because of the challenge. It's the challenge. It's the prestige. It's the fact that he could say, I competed against these guys and I beat, let's say, Michael Creaso or Andrew Jacks. Yeah. When we look at Sean, if we, like Chris said in your last interview, Chris Mintz, he said when he took a picture of Sean Clarita and just blew it up a little bit to the size of Sergio Oliva and Reagan Grimes, he blew them away. Yeah. By comparison, he had just so much muscularity. Striations, look fantastic, conditioned. So I think he will do it purely for the challenge of it. Because look at this way too. Franco Colombo was not a tall man either. He was a man of short stature, but he was a 2-time Mr. Olympia. Yeah,
it was certainly I'm going to say it was a weaker lineup in those days. It was not Mr. Olympia back then. There were so few pros in the world. The Mr. Olympia is so much harder and so much more competitive now. If you look at, there's a website I go to sometimes called musclememory.com, and you can look at the lineups. Some of the older Mr. Olympias had like 4 or 5 guys in the whole show. Seriously, that was it. And, what'd you say? We got 40 qualified for this year?
That's going to be interesting.
40, imagine 40 guys on stage and you're a judge and you got to figure that out. Oof.
In the member only show, Giles and I talked about the possibility of there being an elimination round prior to prejudge.
Huh, that's an idea. Yeah, that's another round though. There's no time. There's just no. We got, they have every division, including wheelchair. That's 11 divisions total at the Olympia. That's a lot. That's a lot of athletes to get through, and we've had so many shows. I bet there's going to be 300 plus competitors in the Olympia this year.
Oof.
Yeah. Oh, maybe more. I think I might be lowballing that. Think about 11 divisions and how many shows we've had. So how many people, every winner of every show is qualified. And then you got people that are, I think the Mr. Olympia is the only one that does the points. They don't. No. That's not true. They do it for everything, right? Yeah, there's point standings for every division. So there's 3 more people in every division who didn't win shows who are going to be at the Olympia based on the current system, the point system.
Yes, so we already know Steve Kluko's out. He's not going to do Olympia because he wants to concentrate on family planning with his wife. So that leaves Andrea Muzzi and Justin Rodriguez left.
Yeah. See, I wonder what they're going to do though, because if Steve's not taking the invite, would they extend it to another person, or would they just say no? These are the top 3, and those are the 3 that qualified, and if they aren't, it's up to them whether they want to do the show or not.
And the one after Steve Kuko, if they did that, would be Quentin Area.
Yeah. He's looking pretty good. He's not looking like he's prepping for the Olympia. So I don't think he'd be in a good spot if he decides to do Olympia like right now. I think we got 5 weeks. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's not a lot of time. That's not enough time to prep for even a smaller show properly. Let's go back to the chat. Joseph says, I think Beirut deserves to win, but he wouldn't be able to get the visa. Yeah, sorry, said that. So Brett may have politics on his side today's show. So he's in Olympia. I don't think so. Yeah, what politics does he have? He's got a well-known coach, but Matt's a well-known coach. Beirut has Milos, who's also a very well-known coach. Sponsors, who's Brett with? Is he a hostile guy?
I'm not sure who he's with right now.
Is he a Raw guy?
He was with Hostile for a while. I'm not sure if he went back to Raw.
Yeah, but I mean, that whole thing about the sponsors, no. Occasionally somebody will win that their sponsor happened to be a sponsor of the show, and people go, politics. But it's a very rare thing. I'm going to his Instagram now. Oh yeah, Raw Nutrition, Raw Revive, which is Matt.
Wow, okay.
Matt's part owner of those companies, so that makes sense. Yeah, he's the one who posted the videos that we put up, and we'll probably put them up one last time before we leave. So Dave Thomas, how did Roman look, Ron? Roman Fritz, as usual, the condition was phenomenal. We're going to be doing a wrap up after finals with Giles, who watched everything, the whole show. He'll be able to give you guys so much more detailed critique. I was looking at pictures, some quick video clips and pictures on Instagram, and Roman, he was in the first call out. He looks like he's probably a 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere in that spot. Legs are phenomenal. Great leg development. Upper body still needs a little bit more size and fullness. Condition. Roman Fritz is just known for his conditioning. I've never seen him off. He brings it 100% every time. His 90% is still better than most people's 100%. Who you got winning, Ron? Who you got winning? I don't know.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna get a coin. I'm gonna find a coin and flip it, and I'll tell you.
Thank you, Xavier. Yes, we found it.
Oh, that's McGee.
Brett Wilkin, Raw Revive.
Yeah. I think of Andrew Jack as like C-Bum when he won his first classic event. Then C-Bum came back with a bigger back and looked better. Yeah, Chris didn't really make that big leap until the 2020 Olympia. So between 2019 and 2020 is where Bumstead made that huge leap in back development, arm development. Coincidentally, so that was 2020. Coincidentally, Sean Clarita, we talked about, he made his best improvements that year as well. That's the year he won the Olympian. He credits it to being the pandemic. He had to train at a guy he knew had a little private studio that he trained clients out of because the gyms were all closed. And it was all free weights. It was all barbells, dumbbells. There was not one machine in there. So for 5 months, all he did was bench press, squat, military press, deadlift, barbell rows, all basic free weight presses, pull. And he said, my physique took on a different look and he won the Olympia that year. So there's something. And, you know, most of us, I said, I was crying like a baby because my gym was shut down and all I had was this and that at home. And I wanted my leg extension and I wanted my cable cross, wah, wah, wah. But just goes to show you the basics. You can't outdo the basics. Then again, you know, he's actually not as young as I thought he was. How old do you think he is, Jim? Chunk Clarita? Oh, forget it. You already know. He's 40. He's 40. Yeah, you already know. I never, that's because he's been around a while. I'm like, he can't be that young. But I don't know. I'm looking at that I call it a baby face because there's not one line. There's just he could play. I think he could play a high school student if he had to in one of these HBO shows. Good lighting and stuff. Well, man, the movie Grease, there was like 40-year-olds playing high school students. Close. Now, what's a Rizzo? What was her name?
Stockard Channing. Yeah.
Dr. Channing. She was like 35 or 36 when they filmed that.
I joke around with Marty all the time whenever we watch that movie. I say, okay, let's watch Grease and watch 30-year-olds play high school students.
Yeah. Certain movies that you just can't, you never get tired of watching. I watch, I know we're all over the place here. What We Do in the Shadows is vampire comedy that's on FX.
Oh,
And
I heard about that. Yeah.
the vampire women all got together one night while the men were away doing something, and they all watched Mamma Mia, which I thought was hilarious. Vampire woman, it's like the standard middle-aged white woman in America loves Mamma Mia. It's like a stereotype.
That's very true. I admit that. I love Mamma Mia myself.
I grew up with ABBA music, so of course I'm all about that.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Don't forget Derek. Yeah, we forgot Derek Lunsford. I keep forgetting Derek Lunsford when I talk about the Olympia.
Don't sleep on Derek.
Don't sleep on Derek. He's very, very good chance of being top 5. I feel horrible that I keep forgetting he's in the show. I keep thinking him as the 212 Olympia champion, which he is, but he's not doing the 212. He's doing open, so he's going to be in the mix. You know who else I keep forgetting is Hassan Mustafa.
Yeah.
He qualified 6 months ago, 7 months ago. The Puerto Rico Pro win, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, don't sleep on him either. This Olympia is, it's almost like a sense of dread because I feel it's going to be so much anticipation. Once these people all come out, the judges are going to have a hell of a time. And no matter what they do, a lot of people are going to be upset with them, no matter how the chips fall, because all these guys have their own fan bases. They all look phenomenal, standing by themselves in their own right. But you put 30, 40 of these guys on stage together, what do? You got to sort them out. You got to have a first place. And then after 15th, it's usually just 16. So everyone's tied for 16th.
Is this the biggest year they've ever had in terms of qualifications? I mean, it's got to be.
It has to. I've been going to Olympia since 91. I do not remember ever there being more than 30 in the show, ever. Sometimes it was like high 20s, and that's a big Olympia. You know, 20, 26, 29 guys, that's a lot of people to get through. But we've never had these many shows to qualify. That I'm certain of.
Yeah.
I'm dead certain there's no way. I mean, I thought we used to have a lot of shows, but this year, especially the European promoters have stepped up. Just like Emilio in Spain, I think he's put on like 4 pro shows this year. Yamamoto's put on a few. There's just a lot of shows, and you know, it's a great opportunity, especially I think for a lot of these European athletes. It would have been hard for them to get all the way over to the US. They got to get a visa. They got to spend, well, they're going to get a visa if they're going to go to the Olympia anyway. But I mean, it's very expensive. It's not easy for them to get over here and compete. So this gave a lot of them the opportunity to be able to do it close to their backyard, you know, a 1, 2, 3 hour flight, much, much easier than all the way over to the US.
Yes, I agree with you.
So Renaud says, did Brett push his conditioning too far at the expense of size, or is conditioning always have room for improvement?
Good question.
So I think they corrected what they did wrong at the Arnold, Brett and his coach, Matt, which was they gambled and tried to come in a little bigger and fuller, and they intentionally sacrificed a little bit of conditioning to do that. You can't be as big as possible and as conditioned as possible at the same time. You can, but it's like lightning in a bottle. Good luck. It's very, very hard to to strike that balance. So I don't think he looks flat or anything like that. I think he nailed it today. It's just he's up against someone who's amazing in his own right.
I agree. They almost seem evenly matched, those two. And Ming from China, he was like, wow, where did he come from?
He's a freak. Yeah, so if you want to find him on Instagram he's Shouming. It's SHOUMING Yan. But then on a lot of other posts, I see his first name is Liang, Liang.
Well,
but I'm going by his Instagram.
Let's take a look at him. Let me see if I can pull the footage up.
Well, now I better make sure it's the same guy, or else I'm going to look like a nitwit. They're going to say you. I want to make sure there's not a Liang Yang that looks like him.
Liang, Ling.
Yeah, it's not. So his Instagram is Shouming.
Spell it.
So here it is. SHOUMING.Yan. Yeah, Liang. And then under the profile, it says Liang.
There he is. Okay, got him. All right, let's take a look.
He's Kevin Leveroni. He's a Leveroni athlete. Wow, good for him. Give this guy a follow. He's only got 8. So he has 8,426 followers now. I bet that's going to be double by end of finals.
I think you're right.
Should be. This guy's phenomenal.
All right. Let me bring this over into the screen here. I'm going to pop it out.
Sure.
Boom. All right. Here we go.
Yeah, because I think people need to know about this guy.
All right. This is from the amateur yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so here's Liang Yan from China. I'm curious as to what he weighed. It doesn't even matter. If he could be 190 pounds and he looks, he's definitely probably a little bit lighter because I could see he's like a foot shorter than the other class winners.
Let's see if I can make that bigger.
I doubt he was over 212. I don't. Somebody correct. If anybody knows what he weighed, what weight class he won, I bet he was, I bet he could have done 212. He could have made 212, but I think he's going to open today.
He is in open today.
He is in open, so good for him.
He could be third, Ron. I saw him earlier with.
Yeah, he was an open, doink.
Beirut and Brett. He looked like a close second for a while.
Yeah, he's got everything.
Right.
This kid.
Here's a better look at coming up in about a minute on your end.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, look at the size on this. I'm gonna call him a kid. He looks very young. He looks like he's probably no more than 25, 26, I'm gonna guess.
I would say you're about right.
Yeah, potential. Look at so much potential. Also, Lauren, I think she's put it on our page too, some stage shots just showing how the promotion, the production values of this event.
Okay,
it's on our channel. It's on our Instagram, isn't it?
I'll go take a look.
But man, these people put some big money into that show, and it looks like the Olympia.
Here's a good shot of him right here.
Yeah, look at that. It's funny. People were tagging me in pictures of this guy last week saying, this guy's going to win the Open. I said, but he's not a pro yet. They said, watch. Wow, look at that. And I don't think he's beating Brett and Beirut today, but look out for this guy.
All right,
look out.
There's a better one right there. Coming up in about a minute.
Look at that most muscular. Look at the thickness.
See what I'm talking about with that crab? Muscular?
Wow. Yeah. It doesn't get much better than that. Jeez.
This guy is one to watch, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Man, I'd love to see him in the 212 Olympia because I'd bet good money he can make weight is what I'm saying. If I had to guess, I bet he was a light heavy. I bet he was like 198 or over. Is that the 95 kg class they call it? 90 kg?
I'm not sure.
I think it's the 95 kilogram class. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't get the metric memo here in the US, apparently.
Well, also, I'm trying to concentrate on running the studio in the background, so I can't do math and chew gum at the same time.
I can vividly remember when we had a president named Jimmy Carter. I don't know if you remember him.
Of course, absolutely.
So when Jimmy Carter was president, one of the things he tried was to convert the United States to the metric system. And I remember, I think it was like third grade. We had all these posters up in our classroom with kilograms and centimeters and meters, and
Mm-hmm.
we were all like, no, we were so vehemently opposed to it as kids because we barely knew whatever system we use. I don't even know the name of the system we use. It's so antiquated. You know, the temperature in Fahrenheit and miles and for a measurement. But anyway, we didn't have to learn it. They tried. They tried having us do conversions, and we were too little. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. But luckily we didn't need to. It didn't happen.
Oops. I have can put you back up. There we go. All right, you're back on the screen.
Okay. I want to address this one. Renaud, who's always joins in the chats. Appreciate you being here, Renaud. Would Sebum place last or near there in the men's Open Olympia? Yes, 100%. He'd be very near the end. And I only say that because relative size would be his demise. He's 6'1.5" or something like that. I know his height's always up for debate. So the heaviest he can be is 240. Man, you know, we got Andrew jacked up there. He's 6'2", 290. You got Rami, who's I think 5'10". He'll be around, I think he's going to be over 300 pounds this year. Ian Valier, these guys are just so much bigger and thicker than Bumstead. Bumstead has a beautiful physique. I'd rather look like Chris Bumstead than Big Rami any day of the week. If God said, Ron, you can be this, you can look like this guy or that guy. I'm like, Bumstead, don't even need to think about it. But on the Olympia stage, it's still a freak show. Mass is still very, very much one of the biggest factors in what the judges are looking for. And Bumstead, relative to those guys, you put him next to a Samson, a Rami, Andrew, he's going to look small. He's going to look beautiful, but small. So, yeah, he would not do well in the Olympics. And he has no intentions. I did an interview on this channel with him about 6 weeks ago, and he has no intentions of ever doing open bodybuilding. And why would he? He's the best in the world at what he does for 3 years so far. He's got Hani on his side now, so looking pretty good, like he might keep his title for at least one more year.
I think so.
11 million Instagram followers, 3 million subscribers on his YouTube channel. He's doing great. Part owner in Raw Revive.
Yes.
Why would he go open, especially where he's got a kidney issue? He's got Berger's disease. So for him to push a ton of gear and stuff, he's not stupid. He wants to be alive and healthy for a very long time.
Plus, newly engaged.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. He just got engaged. Clarita's gonna we know this, but Sean Clarita's gonna have a baby if all goes to plan with the due date. It's gonna be like a week after the Olympia. He's gonna have his daughter. He says terrible timing on my part, but you know what? Life happens when it happens.
Well, congratulations to Sean Clarita.
Congratulations, Sean. They were trying for a while, and then they just sort of stopped trying and said, if it happens, it happens. And that's when it happened. So, you know, Mother Nature does what it wants to do.
And what a nice present that would be.
Yeah. So Renaud also said Sean would destroy Sebum in the Open. Sean Clarita? I think so. Yeah. He's so much bigger. I mean, he hasn't Sean hasn't really beaten any top tier Olympia guys yet, but that's one reason he'd be doing the Open is if he can beat some of those top guys, that's going to really bring his clout up even more. But I think Sebum and Sean all day on the Olympia stage, he's so much bigger. I know he's a full foot shorter, but it wouldn't matter. S. McG says, I think it would be cool to bring the women and men champs up on stage at the end to vote on a people's champ. They do. Did they do it last year? The people's champ at the Olympia? They've been doing the people's champion thing at the Olympia for a while now.
I think they did.
And it's cool. Yeah, I think they always do it now. So you guys, people vote, they vote live, and I don't know if they get anything beyond. They get a really cool custom belt. I don't think they get any money or anything out of it. So it just goes to show you who the people like, which isn't always, the people don't always prefer the same person as the judges. Because I remember the year the late Sean Roden won the Olympia, Rolly Winkler, who was third that year, he was people's champ. And I think Hadi Chupan got it last year or the year before. It's, you know, it's fan favorites.
Yes.
Fan favorites.
Who do you think will be this year, if you had to choose?
Favorite. Nick Walker, maybe.
Okay.
He's got a huge following. That's really what's based on. The people's champion is who the people like the most. I don't know. There's obviously these guys all have big fan bases, but I don't know. I could see Nick Walker top 5 again, and I could see him getting people's champ, assuming they do that again. a political thing. Could JM influence Tim Gardner to help Brett qualify for the Olympia next month? No, come on now.
Oh, here's Giles and Lauren on the
Oh,
stream. I just saw them. They just
right
switched
on.
the camera right on them.
They didn't just start the finals, did they?
They're on women's physique. I'm keeping an eye on it.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say they didn't start that late, did they?
Guys,
So
if they do go into the Open, the 212 or the Classic, we will jump to that immediately. Um, but if we need to, we will probably come back later on with Giles and recap the finals.
yeah, I think we'll do that because we still have women's physique, women's bodybuilding, and wellness to get through. That's going to be a while. I just want to get through some of these questions.
They're going pretty quick. The finals are like they're moving right along like they did last time. You know how they did Tampa last year? Well, last year, this year, I should say. Remember how the prejudging took forever, and then when they got to the finals, it was like 1, 2, 3, and they were over in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Pretty much going like that.
Oh, good. Yeah, Tim runs a very efficient show. Always does.
I think
that's why he brings his whole staff over, because these people, they keep things moving. There's no dead space.
Tim Gardner does an amazing job. Absolutely.
Great promoter. Do you think Juan and Belan Ayala, do you think Chris will retire after this year? Chris Bumstead? I don't think so. Why would he? He's still only 20. He's only 27 years old. That would be 4 Olympia titles at age 27. Assuming he's just started working with Hani, assuming they have a very successful prep together and he wins the Olympia, if that all goes to plan, I don't know why he would stop. Why would he stop? Unless he had some health scare or something. That's the only reason. It's major injury or health scare is the only thing I can think of. Or if he's mentally burnt out, but we'll see what happens.
By the way,
I'm sure he'll have.
Hi, Roger Lockridge. Thank you.
What do you think of Derek Lunsford? Amazing at his frame. Yeah, I think Derek's amazing. I'm a big fan of Derek. I think he's top 3, says Amuz. Yeah, it's not out of the question. I could see him being top 3. He's not missing anything. He's huge. He's going to come in shape. He's got Hani on his side also. I think Derek's taking Ian's 7th place. And now you're assuming Ian's always going to be 7th place. Like that's his.
I hate to say that too, but I do think that's where he may fall this year.
He might, just because it's look at the lineup. Look at all these great names up there.
And they're all great. Every single one of them are great. So it's really going to be a battle in the top 10.
You got Brandon Curry. He's a Mr. Olympia champ, a two-time Arnold champ. Bonac, a 2-time Arnold champ, Olympia runner-up. Geez. Rami, obviously. Hadi's been 3rd place twice. It's stacked. It's stacked up at the top. 7th place in this Olympia would be quite an accomplishment.
And then Nick and Hunter.
Yeah. I mean, these are no slouches. So Dave Thomas is asking, would Sean be able to do the Masters Olympia next year? Masters has not come out with an age. They haven't released any information. I have heard Giles said he talked to Jake Wood, and they are planning one for next year. They're looking at next August, but there's no details yet. If you have to be 40 or 45, or maybe you can't have actively competed for a while. I don't know. They're going to come up with something to make it interesting. Yeah. But yeah, I could see Sean.
You know who I want to see in the Masters Olympia if that happens?
Arnold? No, who?
Jay Cutler.
Oh, that'll never happen.
I'd love to see it though. I'm gonna.
Of course.
Jay, if you're listening, please.
Just like Bum said, Jay is good. Jay is good where he's at. He's doing great. Looks great. He looks young, healthy, fresh. I can't see him doing that ever again, getting on stage again. I don't think he has any interest. But yeah, selfishly, we'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I don't think it will happen either, but I would love to see that happen.
Jeremy Jaswinski, bloody Xavier in here as well.
Oh, Xavier can come by and hang out with us. We don't mind. We like Xavier.
I dig the accent, man. My son-in-law is Australian, and my son's going to Australia in a couple months. So for a while, he's going to be there for a while. SMG Hassan has always been my favorite, but Hassan needed to come in peeled and he could F some stuff up. Yeah, he looked pretty damn great in Puerto Rico. I think he hit the formula, Hassan, coming in a lot lighter. He was showing up in the 260s, maybe 270 at a lot of shows. And this year he sucked it up, literally came in at like in the 240s. I think he might have been high 230s. and didn't look like he was smaller to me. The conditioning made him look better, way better, and just as big. Derek's back and legs on par with Rami. Yeah, Derek's got some crazy back. Legs, I don't know if anyone's legs are on par with Rami, though. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just going to answer a few more questions, and then we'll wrap it up until finals. We're going to do a great finals report, guys, because I have Giles with me, and Giles is watching the whole thing.
Yes, live from Romania.
That's going to be live from Romania.
So
this is not.
You can't beat us there, Xavier. We're live from Romania.
This is live from Massachusetts. You're watching Massachusetts and Long Island right now.
Yes.
Not quite the same as Romania.
But later we will be live from Romania.
So Renaud, the politics stuff, it never stops. Hunter has his dad to lobby for his placing. I mean, if he could really lobby for his placing, why doesn't he have him winning the Olympia? Yeah, it's Hunter gets so much crap for his diet because he has a lot of shakes and he eats like Rice Krispies or something. I don't know. He doesn't eat as much solid food as the other guys.
I heard that, but I didn't know if it was true or not. I thought it was.
Oh, he admitted it's true because he talks about it in his videos, but I don't see it having an adverse effect on his physique. He looks great to me. I've seen some people ripping on him saying, "Hey, he still looks soft and watery." I'm like, I wouldn't call that soft. If that's soft and watery, you know, he did have a little film of water when he qualified last year. It was a Chicago Pro, I think, in Atlanta.
Ron,
right?
I have a request for you. Can you say the winner of the Europa Pro Men's Open?
Who was it?
You know who it is. Theo.
Oh, Theo. How would you say
it? Wait a minute. I just screwed it up. Hold on.
Did you take French? Because I didn't.
I did. I failed it. Actually, I did fail it. No, I got like I barely passed it, but I consider that a fail.
Okay.
It was hard. It was really tough. But let me just say, let me try it. Theo Legale.
I think you need a couple more syllables. That didn't sound like it's. You said Laguerre, which would be like
Legale.
The war, but it's spelled with an I-E-R. Laguerre. Looking at the way it's spelled, I would say Laguerre.
You know what we should do? We should have Giles get him on Global and ask him what's the correct way to say it.
I know an ugly American would just say Laguerriere. That's how it looks.
That's really bad. My French teacher, she would have been like, oh, she was a stickler too. She was tough. She would have been like, no, that is not the way to pronounce. You should go something going on.
Yeah, my wife went to Catholic school. She was Cuban, and the teachers were all white. They were nuns. They called her Rodriguez.
No way.
Yeah, this was a different era. There wasn't as much. I don't think there were that many Rodriguez's in pop culture, so that everybody knew how to pronounce it properly. It's a fairly common name, though, in the Latin world. Rodriguez.
It's like Smith now.
Yeah, it's probably like the second most common Spanish name, I think. There's Martinez, Rodriguez, what's Hector Mendoza, Lopez. There's really like 10 names you see over and over and over again in all the Spanish countries. Yeah, Spaniards got around. Let's see.
By the way, IFBB Pro Corey Curtis says the correct pronunciation, or his understanding of Theo's name, is Laguerre.
Laguerre. So not like Valier.
Laguerre.
Oh, it's rough.
Laguerre, like the Laguerre. That's tough.
Imagine if we were trying to pronounce a bunch of Arabic names. Oof, I'd be. Actually, I can pronounce most of them. They're not that hard.
I'm not too bad with that either. I can do that pretty well.
Sometimes I feel bad for Bob Chick because there'll be like people from 100 different countries, and he does his best. I'm sure he murders some of the names, but he does his best and gets most of them right, I think.
It's the Russian names with all the vowels that I have a hard time with. Those are the toughest.
Someone's giving us a heads up in Classic. J10 says, Ron, Classic Division Romania, you have to watch out for Patrick Tauch from Germany. He just earned his pro card as a natty at the Dennis James Class. This guy has the hardest genetics. Well, yeah, if he turned pro as natural, he must have awesome genetics.
All right, guys. Women's bodybuilding final is on now. If you want to catch that, just go to www.wsromania.com. Pick up the pay-per-view. It's $24.99, or you can get the full package and listen to Giles and Lauren live on the live stream.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna start watching it pretty soon. I'm gonna get off this because I definitely want to watch the 212. and Classic are coming up too. So it's going to be. So you said women's bodybuilding is on right now?
Yes, women's bodybuilding's on right now.
So then it's going to be wellness 212, bikini masters, bikini open, men's physique masters and open, classic masters and open, then the big boys, and then it's all done. Let's see. S. McGee says, when everyone saw Derek on stage with Nick, he was pretty heavy. I'm interested to see how Derek stands with him when he's 5% body fat. You can see his updates, Derek Lunsford, lately. He's been looking crazy. Yeah, best X frames. He's so wide for a guy who's 5'5". Shoulders are out to here. I mean, I've stood next to him many times. The clavicle width. It's rare that you see someone who's that short who has shoulders, the bones that wide. It's just It's crazy, and that gives him a massive advantage. And small hips too. So the X frame and then the legs. Yeah, Amuz, you look at Derek now, you can barely tell he's lost size. Look at Nick, he's smaller due to the condition. Nick Walker looks smaller to you? Huh,
No way. Looks larger than last year, in my opinion.
Joey McCone, 228. I'm not sure who's 228.
You got that great video, even though the sound was iffy. The way he looks on that video you took in Tampa, his arms were huge.
He's massive.
What were they, like 23-inch biceps or something?
They're probably like 22, but he's, at his height, they look like 25.
Yeah.
So Renaud wants to know what body parts separate Brett from a hard worker like Roman. It's not a particular body part. It's just a little more thickness and size in the upper body. I love Roman Fritz's physique. If he was a little bigger and full in the upper body, he'd be pushing these guys for the win. He's still good enough to be he's regularly a top 4, 5, 6 guy. So he's clearly elite level.
Okay, question about Jan Torek.
Let's see.
What about Jan Torek from Pito Lordic?
I haven't seen Jan. I need to look at the judging. They're going to do judging all over again at the finals for the confirmation round. Plus, I'll see him in the posing round. I don't know much about Jan. I'm curious. I want to check him out and take some notes on this guy because I've been hearing a lot of good things about him. I think he was runner-up at one of these shows recently, one of these European shows.
He was runner-up at Prague, and he looked really good.
Yeah, I kind of remember the pictures, but I want to see this guy in action today on the stream. I want to check him out.
From what I saw earlier of Jan Torek, I'm thinking 5th place maybe. He's up against some really tough competition. So I would say, but he looks great. He looks really great, but it's not enough to break top 3. I would say 5th place for Jan Torek today.
Gotcha. Says Ron, if you don't want to answer this, but out of people like Tim Gardner, Jake Wood, and JMN, who knows the most about the sport? Like who can name the most athletes and is the biggest fan?
Tough question.
I don't know who the biggest fan is. JM goes to all the shows, literally like all the shows. So I would think he knows most athletes by name and face out of those 3 people you named. But I'm sure Jake knows plenty of them too, and Tim obviously as well. Renaud, Nick Walker's legs are not Olympian genetics, really, and he's already maxed his size out before 30. No, I mean I don't think he needs to get any bigger. So in that aspect, he's got all the muscle he's ever going to need. I think. Yeah. Nick Walker, how much bigger do you think he needs to be, for goodness sake? But yeah, he just needs to really refine and hone and get more detail in the muscle that he has now. Yeah, he is. He's only 29, 28 or 20. I think he's 29 now. This guy has amazing chest. If I were Brett, I wouldn't do Olympia, says Harry. If I were Brett, I wouldn't do the Olympia. Needs 2 solid years to pack on size to become top 10. I don't know, about 2 more years. Greg Adams, he's like a hybrid of Jose Raymond and Derek. And Derek, I think. I don't know who he's talking about Derek. Right?
Derek Lunsford?
No, I don't know. I think he's talking about Nick Walker's a hybrid of Jose and Derek.
Oh.
Now they're talking about the Chinese guy's got gyno. It's an easy fix. It's a quick operation. He's going to take a little time off training. A lot of the pros have had gyno and they've had it removed. It's not a big issue. Yeah, Bonac just had it removed a couple of years ago. And yeah, a lot of these guys have had it and they just get it out. It's not a big deal. Bumstead is an Instagram bodybuilder, not a competitive freak. I would disagree. He's beat everybody at the Classic Olympia for 3 years. Why would you say he's not a competitive freak? He's done pretty damn great.
Yeah. That's not, yeah. I agree with that.
C-Bum gets over 1 million likes per Instagram post. Yeah. Every young guy I talk to, and I'm talking about like high school, because people come up and ask me about things in the gym. Every young guy they're all C-Bum fans, every single one of them. Very few of them are following open bodybuilding. They're into Urs, Bumstead, Ruffin, Ramondino, the classic guys. They love classic physique. And, you can't tell people what to like and what not to like. People are going to follow and like what they want to.
And he's a good role model for the younger guys.
I think so. I mean, seems to me like I've met him many times. Seems like a great young guy. Solid business head on his shoulders. He's already invested in a company. And yeah, he does great, puts out great content on a very regular basis. Knows how to play the social media game while still preparing and winning the biggest show in the world every year. So, yeah, C-Bum has millions of fans of non-bodybuilding, mostly aspiring teenagers of physique. Well, nothing wrong with that.
No.
I mean, I agree. A lot of the people that are C-Bum fans, they don't follow the sport. They don't really care about the competitive aspect of it. But, oh, well, so what? If he's got 11 million fans on Instagram and 4 million of them follow the sport and the other ones don't, but they're inspired to go to the gym and become a better version of themselves, what's wrong with that?
I agree.
There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
I think they should.
C-Bum, Renaud says, C-Bum's physique is not attainable without gear and young guys don't know yet. I think they know. That. It's, you know what? His physique is not attainable with gear unless you have spectacular genetics like he does. So unless you had mom and dad Bumstead as your parents, good luck. You're not going to look like that. You can say that about so many of these guys because I see plenty of people with regular genetics use tons of gear. None of them ever look like these guys. Nothing, not remotely. Like a lot of them, you'd walk right past them in the gym. Nothing special.
Well, you said
nothing.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Yeah, I apologize. But you said when you met Nick Walker's parents, you could see the genetics in place from his father and his mother.
Yeah, they were both the frame. You can see things like the frame, even if they don't train. Nick's dad did train when he was younger. He did a little bit of bodybuilding when he was a younger guy, but you could see the bone structure, which you have to have that. That's the first thing. Without that in place, you can't change your bones. But I could see things like the muscle belly length, even on someone who hasn't trained in many years. I can always kind of get a glimpse of what they used to look like. Because I meet so many, I'm 53. I know a ton of guys who used to be competitors and they used to have a lot more muscle mass on them. And even if they've lost some muscle and gained some fat, a lot of them I can see who used to be good. I can still see the basic shape and everything. They never lose that unless they get really overweight or something. Roger Lockridge, what's up, Roger? Great writer, Roger. Feeling Andrew Jack can beat Walker Labrati. Is that flex for the frame? Roger Lockridge. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Roger.
I thought I could look like John Cena naturally. Was in high school. Oh, yeah. It's me, TC. Thank you, saying keep up the great work. Alvin Capone, no relation, or maybe it is. I don't have any favorites in this era. Maybe Kaya Green, but even with advancements in modern society, the bodybuilders don't shock me anymore. I mean, we've seen some really great physiques over the past 20 years. Some great Ronnie, Phil Heath, Jay Cutler, Kai, Dexter. There's been so many great physiques.
DK says 53. Shit, you look 40.
Oh, thank you. It's good lighting. I actually left the lights on today in the overhead lights. I didn't want to. I think it looks too much like a cave, Jen. Do you agree when I have the lights off?
Yeah.
I think I might start keeping the lights on like this.
I think it looks great like that. And I love the color. It looks terrific.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not like struggling to read because I have all the lights off. So, I have notes in front of me a lot of times.
But you and Janet do both look young. I would say you and Janet both look like early 40s.
She looks younger than me, but she does, she does Botox and she stopped doing fillers, but she doesn't get any sun on her face. She's been very, very diligent. She's terrified of looking older, as most human beings are. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of money and a lot of work. But I'd say she looks about 35. I'd give her 35.
Yeah, I can see that.
She'll be 52 next month.
God bless her.
So, yeah. Hi, Ron. What's the full name of Theo? Are they
no.
dating? I'm gonna try it again. There
you go.
Give me a Spanish name. I'm all good. I'll say that right all damn day.
Someone's gonna make a meme of this. You know that, right?
Walker beats Jack this year easily. Okay, good. That's Team Walker Nation talking. Sensel. Jack too small despite being the most aesthetic. I wouldn't call him small. He's a big dude. I think he could be bigger and fuller. I don't think he's in his final form yet. I think Andrew Jack is going to get bigger. He's not done. Samson. Jay says he's not coming back. We would like to get himself back into shape. Yeah. Ron, please say it was a full name of Theo. Not again.
No more of that, guys. Go watch the replay.
Theo, and I'll spell it. No, it's it looks like it would be Le Guerriere. It's I-E-R at the end. If you didn't say it like that, why would the I be there? Again, I didn't take French, so I don't know. Maybe there's a secret.
And someone in the chat pointed out that it means warrior.
Oh, wow. I know guerre. Yeah, the word guerre means war. So, okay. The warrior. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Guerra in Spanish. Yeah, a lot of Spanish. I can actually, if I look at French, in print, I can make out a lot of it because I speak, I wouldn't say fluent, but decent, halfway decent Spanish. And it's written Italian, French, and Spanish. If you speak any one of them, you can probably get the gist of reading any of the others.
Well, all those languages, French, Italian,
Romantic,
Spanish, all derivatives of Latin.
Yeah. How did Rob Cannon do a prejudging? I don't know. We're going to wait for Giles to tell me.
And English.
Nick Walker is 27. Oh, wow. He's getting younger and younger. Oh, okay. Greg Adams is the hybrid, the Chinese gentleman, Leanne. He's a hybrid of Jose and I can't remember who else. Oh, Lunsford. Derek Lunsford could have competed here to prove himself. Well, yeah, I guess he could have, but why would he go all the way to Romania just to do that? And I mean, he's already qualified. He's qualified for Olympia. So if he didn't win today, I'm not saying he wouldn't have, but that wouldn't be a good look, I don't think. A couple more, and then we're gonna go. Olympia is using CBUM social media popularity to increase exposure to their brand. I don't know if they are or not, but I would if I were the Olympia people. Considering he's got 11 million followers, I would use that.
Definitely. Jeez. Why wouldn't you?
Sure. Been following. They'd be foolish not to. These guys any advantage you can get for exposure to the brand and get more people involved and buying tickets and watching the pay-per-view, why not? Did we have a full live stream on here, Jehan? Well, we can't show the live stream at the same time it's on. That would be piracy. That would be stealing their live stream.
Yes.
I would not do that to Tim Gardner and Jake Wood, the people behind the live stream. We would not do that. We're not going to pirate their content.
Plus, not to mention our good friends Giles and Lauren are doing the live stream, so we don't want to do anything to jeopardize them.
Yeah. So wingsofstrength.net. Was that the full name of the site?
It's WSRomania.com.
Musclefest. WSRomaniaMusclefest.com. So it's short for Wings of Strength.
Right.
That's the link that you sent me. WSRomaniaMusclefest.com. I'm going to be picking up this. I got to go by it and start watching it myself momentarily. Do we have full stream?
Oh, and they just showed Giles and Lauren again.
Oh, wow. All right. So, Jen, I think we're going to wrap it up. So I want to really watch this and be prepared. So Giles doesn't show me up and know everything about it. I know nothing about anybody.
Okay.
So I want to watch this. I'm excited. There's some great competitors in this. So let's wrap it up, guys. We appreciate you being here in the live chat during this judging recap. We'll have a lot more content, much more in-depth analysis for the finals. It'll be live from Romania with Giles Thomas, who is right now, as we speak. If you're watching the pay-per-view, he's the gentleman commentating with the proper British accent and the snazzy suit and all that stuff. My partner in crime, Giles Tiger Thomas. He will be joining us live from Romania when the finals wrap, and we're going to get the full breakdown from him. And we'll see what happens. We'll see who's going to the Mr. Olympia, because somebody knew it's going to be either Beirut or Brett Wilkin. One of these gentlemen is going to qualify for the 2022 Olympia.
Yes.
So that's it. Jen, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ron,
for running this behind the scenes stuff for us.
My pleasure.
And give you guys a rough estimate. It's probably going to be, you say 2 hours, you think?
About 2-3 hours, yeah.
Somewhere 2 to 3 hours. We can, there's no way to ever know when these things exactly end, but we're looking at about, I'm gonna say about 3 hours from now it's gonna wrap. That's my guess.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Looks like there's a lot of people to get through. So please join us back here on this channel. Next time we're gonna be live from Romania with Giles Thomas, and we'll give you the full breakdown of the Romania Muscle Fest happening right now in Bucharest, Romania. Last chance to qualify for the 2022 Olympia. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please, if you like the video, give it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Hit that little notification bell up in the corner there. Actually, I'm pointing in the wrong direction. You know, when we're having that's how you can be alerted to when we're going live and putting out content. And we appreciate it so much, guys. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Take care, guys.
Hey, did you like that video? Smash that like button, subscribe to MD, and please comment down below. Thanks for watching.